Yo, dudes, it's Naruto.
Hey everybody, this is Strategywizard and
Crazycraft.
And today we're going to be doing a review of Naruto Ninja Arena Shonen Jump. And basically, I don't know who the actual designers are, I don't think it says, but it's at least by Japanime Games and some other people. There's Shonen Jump, Don't Panic Games, and basically what it gets down to, we bought this on a whim at a local game store. We've watched a lot of the Naruto. Yeah. I'll say it's not 100% kid-friendly, so we have to kind of be a little careful with it and I have to, monitor it. But yeah, it's a very entertaining show. It's a great anime series, in my opinion. And that was a lot of what motivated me to take a risk with this, because I had not heard anything about it, knew nothing. And I just looked at the back of the box, and I thought, I'll take a risk. So
it was a big risk.
Yeah, we took a risk. So the question is, was it a worthy risk? Let's go ahead and go down to the table, and we'll show you how to play, and we'll let you know what we think.
Yay!
Okay, so this is the setup. This is a 4-player game setup for Naruto Ninja Arena. Now, we happen to have gotten one that has the Genin pack expansion included. I'm not sure what all ninjas come in the, I guess, base game by itself, but we have a whole bunch of ninjas, and we just put the original 3 from the show, plus Gaara, because he's our personal favorite.
Yeah, he's so cool!
Now, basically what it gets down to is each player is going to have their character. They're going to get some dice. 1 black and white die, and then 4 colored dice, which all have the same sides. And then you're going to get an extra little superpower board.
Well, I did this one, so I'll do 2 damage to you.
Yeah, there's a bunch of damage tokens, which make it to where we actually... we split it up here so people can all reach the damage tokens easily. Everyone has a health marker with this little orange, yellowish cube that you put in your first wound area on the left side of your board. And that's it. And then this is what they call the Uzumaki tile in the center. Now there's some other special tokens that certain other ninjas use for their abilities, but this, you get the idea. So basically what it gets down to is, this is a live action game where you're grabbing your dice, and once you start, you're rolling non-stop.
Like this video is live right now, but the only thing is that once it's published to YouTube, it won't be live anymore.
And each of these dice, they have all kinds of different things, and I'm pretty sure they all represent some theme from the show. For example, the black die typically seems to show, I guess, types of attacks, like a fist attack, kick, a chakra maybe, Ninja Star, Kunai, and then this is a wild that can be anything. And then these, I think, represent different types of elements. There's earth, there's the leaf symbol.
There's Crazycraft, and that's crazy.
I think this is time, maybe? I'm not sure.
And don't forget to mention the Crazycraft. That's the crazy one.
Yeah, well, a lot of these are crazy in the sense that I don't really know what they represent. Like this one, I don't, water or air maybe. But the point is, you have these elements, and you have this die that represents the type of attack. Each character has two regular attacks and 1 super ability. In this particular case, Naruto has with a punch attack and the leaf symbol, he can do 3 damage to somebody who is next to him. So he would attack either Sasuke or Sakura. And with this, if he gets 3 leaf symbols from the Leaf Village, which makes sense. Wasn't it called the Leaf Village? It's been a long time since we watched the show.
Yeah, it probably is Leaf Village.
I think it was the Leaf Village. Y'all can correct us in the comments.
Or the Crazy Village.
And if you do this, you get 3, then you can either do 5 damage to somebody who has no damage already, or you can do 2 damage to anybody. So if everyone's already hurt, then you'll just go ahead and do 2 damage. But if there's someone who's not hurt yet, then you can do 5 damage. And then you have your super ability. The super ability tile, it shows you 5 symbols that you have to have, which is a whole lot. And if you do it, see, and of course you can re-roll, it's live action, so you're just rolling and then you grab the ones that you want, so you keep going until you get what you need, and you can finally just roll 1 until you finally have what you want. Well, and once you do that, in this case, you'll slap the Uzumaki tile in the center. Then everyone else has to stop what they're doing, and they all have to try to hit that. The last person to hit this tile, there's going to take 2 damage automatically. So you want to be really quick to hit that thing if you can. Now, at that point, you get to flip over. Well, I should take that back. You don't do that quite yet. Any damage that anyone other than yourself has taken, you'll still have, let's say you took some damage. You don't worry about it. You just leave it there. Let's say Sasuke was hurt a bunch. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's perfect. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. He will look, and let's say he was also the last person to hit the Uzumaki tile. He takes a 2 additional damage. So now he's hurt 10. What he'll do is he'll go, ooh, my first health mark point, this is my first wound is 6. So you definitely did more than 6. So you would take 6 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you go, well, I have 4 left, but there's 6. It takes 6 damage to do the next wound, so that doesn't happen. All this just goes away, and it doesn't hurt him. So your wound markers basically show how much damage you can handle as you keep getting closer to being knocked out. Now, at that point, once you've triggered everyone else's damage, other than the person who actually triggered their special ability, then you'll flip over your special ability marker, and anyone else who had theirs active will flip it over so they don't have their special ability available anymore.
Let's use a sound effect. Well, that's not a good one. Let's do this one.
So basically what it gets down to is now Naruto can use his special ability as much as he wants until someone else triggers theirs and makes him lose it. In this case, he's able to do 1 damage, and he can actually take it from his own wounds. So he's actually going to
heal, kind of.
Basically be healing himself 1 every time he attacks and hurting people more. And so that's something you really want. And what's going to happen is someone else is going to, well, I don't want him to have that. They're going to trigger their special ability, which will trigger wounds on everybody else and make anyone with an active ability lose it. So each character has their own special abilities, their own uniqueness to them, and honestly, it's largely thematic. I mean, the way a lot of them work. For example, I mean, here you're getting the large toad, which I can't remember his name from the show, to help you, and he's helping you do more damage and essentially protecting you, I guess you could say. Over here with Sasuke, he does 2 damage to anyone, which isn't that great, but over here he can do 6 damage spread amongst anybody he wants and do 1 damage to himself. So he has the cursed mark, so he's hurting himself, but he's also doing a lot of damage. He's got a lot of power. His special ability makes him even more powerful. He just does +2 damage with every single attack, which makes him quite lethal. If somebody ends up getting wounded, they've taken, or knocked out, they've taken all their wounds, and they actually get knocked out, you'd flip this over. Now,
I got the thing I needed because of wild, so 6 damage to you.
At this point, you're still in the game actually. You're trying to roll these 5 dice, and if you do, you will also once again hit the Uzumaki tile. Everyone else who fails to, the last person to hit it will take another 2 damage.
Oh man!
But then once you've done this, you actually come back to life with your health here on your last wound mark. And if you were to take all the wounds again, 9 damage or more, then you're out. You are defeated. But it gives you 1 more chance to come back from being knocked out or unconscious to have another chance of victory. However, whenever you do this, if you're in this knocked out mode, if someone else triggers their special ability and they hit the Uzumaki tile, if you're the last person to hit it, instead of taking 2 damage, you just get defeated immediately. So you still have to be paying attention and be quick on your feet, even when you're knocked out. And of course, while you're knocked out, you're still rolling simultaneously with everybody else trying to, get recovered while they're trying to attack, and they cannot attack you while you're down, which is the good news. So that's pretty much how you play the game.
But at least they can't attack me. Might as well be like this forever.
Yeah, you play possum. So essentially, that is the game. Each other character, for example, Sakura has a pretty cool thematic element. She is a healer in the show, and over here she actually can do 1 damage and then heal herself too. So she's healing herself as she's attacking. And she has this awesome super ability that makes it to where, at the moment,
she has 40 health.
Yeah, basically every wound is worth 10, so you have to do a lot more damage. So if you activate this, and someone else activates theirs, for example, let's say Gaara activated his, then you would see how much damage you had, and she would say, oh, well, it takes 10 for this one, 10 for this one, so it makes it very hard. At the end of that, this would flip over, and she would no longer have it, but during the damage check, she would have that awesome bonus of extra health. So that's how you play the game. Let's go ahead and go up, and we will tell you what we think. Before we go up, we did want to actually take the time to show all the other characters and some of the unique things about them, so we'll go ahead and start covering them now.
Well, first we should save the best for last. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah, Gaara is definitely our favorite. Now, here's the deal. Basically, what it gets down to is each character is very different. We're not going to go over their actual special attacks. We're not, but we'll go over some of their.
Yeah, that would take a million years.
We'll focus on some of the unique things about them.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. 1,000,001 years.
Hinata is interesting. Well, one, because her health actually goes from her wounds are 3-8, 3-8. Normally, people just kind of get progressively tougher, but hers is staggered, which is unique. But she has something like Sakura does, where she does damage and heals herself. She also has the ability to that's similar to Sasuke's, where she can actually do damage and spread it amongst everybody however she wants, except she has to do one per person at minimum, which is interesting. Our good friend Shikamaru, he can do 2 damage, and then he can put this special token that he has on the Uzumaki tile, and the next person who triggers their ability, other than himself, who triggers their super powerful ability.
I'm about to do so much damage to this. Ow! 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 Ow!
Basically, they take 3 damage for doing so. So he punishes people for triggering their special ability. He also has this one, which is interesting, where he does 3 damage to whoever he wants, and then they have to count backwards, 3, 2, 1, 0, and they have to stop rolling while they do so. So he kind of has, it's kind of like that shadow maneuver that he has, where he's able to control people. So he's actually slowing them down in their progress of fighting. Then we have Tamari, who uses her battle fan quite effectively. She does a little damage, and then she puts her fan out. So she has a special fan token. You put 3 damage counters on it, and every time someone hits you, you counter with the fan. So she's like retaliating and takes 1 damage from that fan and puts it on them. And in doing so, by the time she's used all 3, she puts the fan back on her board, and then the next time she triggers this, she puts the fan out again. So she can keep countering and doing damage to people who hurt her.
Promite, use counterattack!
She can also use this, which does 2 damage to the person on the left and right. Then you have Kibi, or Kiba. Gosh, I don't know why I keep calling him Kibi.
Well, I thought that too, because it's so similar to Kibi.
It's pretty close. But Kiba is interesting because he actually can do split damage, 2 damage over here, 1 damage to somebody else, which is nice. But this is more interesting. He does 2 damage, but he does an extra 2 damage for each wound he has suffered. Now he doesn't have a lot of wounds; he only has 3. But if he's all the way here, he's already suffered 2 wounds. He's going to do an extra 4 damage. So this would do 6. So he can get pretty powerful as he's getting closer to losing. Then over here we've got Rock Lee, who is a hilarious character, and he's interesting because he's the only one who has, in one particular area, he has 3 different attacks he can choose from. One fist does 1 damage, or a fist in a rock does 3 damage, or a fist of rock in an hourglass does 5 damage. So he's scaling power there, and over here he can hit 2 people and for 2 damage on either side.
That'd be us.
And he's got a whole lot of health, just like Tamari has Tamari has even more health, as far as, and a lot of wounds they can take. Then, Tintin is interesting. She can do 3 damage spread amongst everybody with her nice little chain sickle. She can sweep it across and hit everybody. And then she can actually punish people for having their ability active. She does 2 damage to everybody, and then she can do 2 extra damage to anybody who has their power active. So she punishes people who are actually doing well.
I just used my special ability. Ow! That hurt more than usual! Oh no!
And then Gaara, in particular, is our favorite character, but also one of the most interesting. He has crummy health. Crummy health. But he does 4 damage to someone who's next to him, which is...
That's all you need to know.
very powerful for 2 dice.
I know, that is powerful.
And then here, he actually does 2 damage that he can actually take from himself and put it on someone else. So he heals himself as he hurts other people.
So basically he just does a bunch of damage.
He can also use this with his special ability. If he has it active, he can take damage from there, but we won't worry about that little detail. But
so he's boring. He doesn't have enough health. Boo!
Yeah, he dies fast. Or gets knocked out fast.
Yeah, boo! But whoa! Oh, I'm sorry.
Unlike the other characters, and this is where he really stands out, he doesn't get knocked out in a traditional sense, and he can't recover like they can and come back with their damage token here, but he has 15 health here. So he actually has this massive amount of health that you have to get past to be able to finally defeat him. And with 3 hourglasses, he can do 6 damage spread amongst anybody he wants.
Which is pretty powerful.
So, interestingly enough, Gar is healing himself. He's slowing down his death, but once he gets here, he actually becomes beast mode.
Yeah, literally. He only has more health.
The sand demon inside of his little jug over there suddenly comes out and he goes crazy.
It's kind of funny. That's 14 health. 5 plus 9 is 14. And then he has 1 more health.
Yeah, he actually has more total health than he did before. So he becomes beastly. So basically what it's down to is there's a lot of different characters here in this one that had the Genin expansion pack built into it. Like I say, I don't know what you would have gotten with just the base box, but a lot of cool characters here. So we're very excited about that. Now we'll go back up and we'll show you what we think. So as you can see, this game is a real-time game. You don't take turns. You just roll dice like crazy and try to make stuff happen.
I'm going to try to get a air or water. Come on. I can't get it.
And let me tell you,
oh, there it is.
We've played it several times, and it is amazing how many times you'll be trying to get something and you just can't seem to get it.
I know. It's like, am I ever going to get this? I mean, man.
But that's part of what makes it interesting is the fact that you're constantly rushing, trying to get certain results, and sometimes in the middle of that, you'll realize, wow, maybe I should shift and try to get something else. And it's a very, very chaotic...
well-done game.
And well done. It's chaotic, but it's a well-done chaos. It's chaos that's controlled in an interesting way that keeps you engaged. So, here's the thing. Strategy-wise, yes, there's strategy.
Yeah.
Even though the vast majority of it, yes, is the luck of the dice. You're rolling and, you know, whatever happens, happens. But you have to decide a few things. One, you have to decide when to actually go for a killing blow. When do you want to try to get your special ability activated? One, do you want to activate your special ability just to get the ability, the power itself? Or are you paying attention and you think, I think there's enough damage to knock them out? Then you should try to do it. So you're trying to pay attention at the same time that you're trying to roll, and you're also trying to remember what your actual attacks are. Because whenever I'm rolling, I easily forget what dice I need for some of my attacks.
Yeah.
So you're trying to pay attention to so many different things, but you're also trying to make the best move possible as efficiently as possible, at least theoretically.
Yeah, because you like rock, and then this like water, and then you're like, I needed the green thing, or like a music, and this little yellow thing, and you're like, I can't believe I did this.
And sometimes you might roll and miss out on something if you're not paying enough attention, because you know your super ability needs all 5 dice that you're rolling, and it's hard to remember unless you've played a bunch and kind of memorized some of the characters exactly what you need. So you have to take your time and pace yourself and think, how much time do I want to spend looking and reminding myself what attacks I have versus rolling and paying attention? So
you gotta go fast. You gotta go fast. You can't be like, what's that do?
Yeah, you can't play around too long. You just have to do it just enough to where you can make sure you're making good decisions. And that's what makes this game interesting, because even though it is, yes, highly luck-based because of the dice rolling, there is strategy, some amount of strategy in trying to figure out what attacks to go for, when to try to go for your big attack, and looking around at what other people are doing to get an idea of the state of the board, especially the more players there are. So there's definitely some strategy here. What about component quality? What do you think about the components?
The dice?
Everything. The cardboard, the dice, the damage tokens.
I'd have to rate them a 9.5 out of 10 out of 10. I really like the artwork. I mean, these look, on the dice, on the characters, because I think they did a really good job on the characters.
Oh yeah, the characters look exactly as good as they did in
I know. It's HD quality. 4,444 HD. And then I like these, how they just made it perfect.
Yeah, they did a good job on the engraving of the dice. The only thing that I will say is the dice feel a little cheap. They don't feel as heavy as other dice that I've held before, and they're not rounded. They're just very relatively sharp corners for a die. So the dice are not.
But to me, that doesn't bother me.
Which it doesn't just bother me necessarily, but I can tell they didn't put as much effort into it. But the engraving and the painting of the dice they did an excellent job. The engravings are perfect, and I haven't seen any of them that have a paint issue of not having the engraving fully painted.
Like maybe there's a little something.
Because I've seen engraved dice that have issues with that, but these all seem to be quite nice. So to me, also, apart from the dice being a little on the light side and not being rounded at all, apart from that, great component quality. All the cardboard's thick, sturdy, everything's great. As far as replayability, what do you think?
I think it's really replayable. I mean, I don't just think I just want to play this game 6 times a day, 1 million times a day. I want to play it like maybe 3 times a day, separately.
Well, that's pretty good for you. So,
yeah.
And I have to say, I think the replay value is also very high, not only because you can change characters, which gives you vastly different abilities, because you have some people who are healers, some people who are focused on heavy damage, and some people who are focused on being able to actually take their damage and move it to someone else, or do special things that can act where it damages people for using their special ability and hitting the Uzumaki tile in the center. That's replayability because you get different characters.
And another thing that's nice is that it's not like, okay, I just know how to win. It is luck, because if you're like, oh, I need to go for 3 dice and get 4 damage, but then you're like, I can't get it, so I'll just go for the short ones, because you only have a certain amount of time in this game before they do a bunch of damage, and you're like, oh my gosh, he did that much damage in the special ability already, and they do like boom.
Well, that's the other thing. It's hard to pay attention to what everyone else is doing, because you're sitting there focused on what you're doing all the time, and that's part of where the replayability comes in. You're sitting here rolling.
Because you're like, there's like 4 damage to you, and then you're like, okay, let me just roll. It doesn't even matter hardly.
And it's not, unlike with a turn-based game that's more strategy-focused, you're not focused on, I need to make this move so that I can win. You're focused on, I'm going to try to go for this and hope I get it. And that chaos makes it to where you're excited to play it again, because you want to see, can I get a little luckier with the dice? Can I make better decisions on which attacks I do? So anyway, the point is, there's plenty of replayability in this game. Lots, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, not only is it because of the different characters, the chaos of the rolling, and the fact that there's no, I guess, path to winning. There's no, if I do this, I will win.
Yeah.
It's just live action trying to make something happen and go faster than everybody else. And there's also replayability just in the fact that the way other players play and different amounts of players kind of changes the way the game works a little bit. And honestly, 2 players is fun, because it's nice to have 2 ninjas that can swap out, and you get a little more abilities. You have 1 extra attack.
Yeah.
And more players, you'd lose that, but you have the ability to get knocked out, and that's cool. And that way you can try to recover. And the way your damage gets allocated can be a little more strategic in more players. So that adds some replayability and player count. Now, ultimately, what do you think? What would you rate this game?
Damn. What? Well, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. That sounds very fair. So, why do you give it 9 out of 10? Is it mainly because of the real-time action? Is that what really gets you going?
What I like about this game is that it's real-time action. It's not like, oh, I didn't get what I needed, it's your turn. That would be so boring, because you could almost never get what you need. And then they're just piling up damage, like, I'm getting what I need! So, that's what I like about this game. It's just action. You just keep rolling, and I like that. I really like that, because if it was a turn-based, I mean, like I said, it would be horrible. And it's almost like you're having a real battle.
In all fairness, I would say it wouldn't be horrible.
It wouldn't be horrible.
It's kind of like Ultimate Warriors or King of Tokyo if it was turn-based, which is still fun.
I mean, it is still fun.
It's just that there is something about the real-time...
And it makes sense, because whenever you see them, it's almost like a real-time battle, because you can't be like, maybe I should use this move. Maybe I should use this move.
Yeah, you get that ninja battle speed going on, and you're like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. And so it kind of simulates the craziness and the speed of the ninja battles in Naruto. It kind of gives you that adrenaline feeling, which is really cool. And so you gave it a 9.
9.
I think I would have to give this game a 9 also, because...
It's my second favorite game of all time.
This game just happens to hit a mark that I didn't even expect. One, I didn't realize when I bought it. They actually say in the instructions that it's the first of the Roll and Clash game system, which is, I guess, I'm assuming is
expansion. So
no. I think what it is that it's the first game that in their design where you do this simultaneous rolling to try to attack each other, where you're just always rolling at the same time, and that's a cool concept.
Yeah, it is.
I like the idea, like Crazycraft says, of
Craft Crazy.
It's like you're constantly trying to attack. You're constantly trying to get what you need, and you don't have time to think about what other people are doing. You're just focused on, I gotta hurry up and do this. But then you hear them say, ooh, I did 5 damage.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
And you're like, oh no, and so you're hearing what they're doing, and you're like, oh no, they're doing damage, I have to hurry up. And that chaos, that adrenaline.
I know, because sometimes it rolls so high like this, and it actually just goes like right on this table.
Yeah, because you're trying to get all your dice and not let them all roll over the place. It just creates an action-packed, adrenaline-soaked experience, and I like the fact that you have special abilities. I like the fact that you have the ability to do all these cool different attacks, and it's just, oh, and I also like the fact that in a more than 2-player game, it really matters who hits that Uzumaki tile last. Once you hit it for your special ability, everyone's like, oh gosh, they were trying to hit it quickly.
Yeah.
Does
that matter in a 2-player game?
Not
I'm pretty sure it does.
In a 2-player game doesn't really matter. This other person who didn't use their ability automatically takes the 2 damage.
Yeah.
But with more players, it does matter, and it makes it where there's another element of speed that everyone is. It just ties into the ninja speed aspect of the game. So
that's what I like.
So much cool stuff. So much cool stuff. So yes, 9 out of 10 from both of us. We both really, really, really like this game. High rating, and would recommend it to anybody who likes dice rolling, combat, and likes the real action where you're just constantly, there's no turns. Anyone who likes that kind of stuff should really enjoy this game.
I like it.
And also anyone who likes Naruto, because the theme really does actually come through with the characters.
Yeah, because I gotta say, if it was just a bunch of random ninjas, I gotta say, that would really
It would not be as exciting.
Yes, it would take away so much from the game.
So hopefully y'all enjoyed it, and if so, give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Double bye! I'm gonna see if I can get a telescope. Come on! Come on! Oh, I got a telescope!
I don't think that's a telescope. But anyway.
Oh, well, yeah. I just call it a telescope. Wait, telescope. I don't even get what I mean.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So the point
magnifying glass. I mean, my stinking brain.
I think it's an hourglass, but
I have to get my brain working.
What you need.
Oh, I think I just got better. My brain, my head pull-ups. Yes! Oh, I'm smart. But now, one thing I do like about this is. Gosh, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh, sorry.
Cut this part out. Gosh, what was I? This could be a blooper.
Yeah.
Gosh, right. Oh, gosh, my brain stinks.
Is that through the replayability? Is that what we were talking about?
That's right. Okay, let's just... So basically, what I think what's so replayable about this game is that...
You don't remember?
No. Why did I forget? Or maybe I already said that. So basically, well, one thing I like is that... How can I keep forgetting this? Why do I keep forgetting? Wait, you said something about 9 out. Why I would give it a 9 out. Okay, now I remember.